All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Sport webinar. Today's date is December 28th, 2018, and this is a Friday afternoon webinar. And the title of today's webinar is Wait for the Trade to Come to You. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, anything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars we might have, our live trading room or anything else with Viper Trading Systems, should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? And I don't see any, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, Raymond's asking, anyone living in the Phoenix area that's using Viper? That's a good question. I'd have to have Linda look that up, Raymond, to see. I can do that and get back with you. Not a problem. Okay, let's go ahead and show a chart here. What I want to do today is just re-emphasize a little bit of waiting for that trade to come to you, okay? But knowing the direction that you're going to go, okay? Because there's times, for instance, that, just like Charles, I watched his webinar from Thursday, and it was really good. The only thing that you want to be careful of, and he emphasized this too, but I want to re-emphasize it, do not use mid-band trades when it's choppy, because mid-band trades do not work when it's choppy. You're going to get 3 or 4 ticks and then right back in your face. And usually when that happens, it's going to be to the tune of high-frequency trading. Okay, so don't get in the habit of doing that. Okay, if you see, for instance, that it's choppy, and then just buy and sell those predictors. Try a couple of them and see if you can get a little bit of coin in your pocket. But be careful when it's choppy sideways for buying mid-band trades. Okay, and he emphasized that a lot. When you want to do your mid-band trades is when you're stair-stepping, when you're in a trend. Those are the absolute best. When you're not in that trend, you're looking for the deeper retracements like phantoms, okay, the longs and the shorts, okay? And also watch for your predictors because they're pretty good at predicting where those trades are going to hit their head. Okay, let's see. Mindy says, I can only do half the webinar because I have to go to the office. That's fine. It's being recorded, so you can watch it at any time. I'll have it posted just after we close the webinar down. Now, real quick, with what you're seeing right here, without even looking at the chart, which way would you think the trade should be heading? Now, we don't even have red backgrounds or anything like that, or green backgrounds, but what do you say by looking at this chart right here? Absolutely. Yeah, everybody's getting it. The more that people get this, the more you're going to make money, okay? Because you notice that, when this was actually stair-stepping down here even, it barely took out the highs here. Let's go back a little bit of ways and see how this was actually a high, even a little higher than this one. So this is definitely starting to stair-step down. In this area, how sideways was it though? Were there trades? Trade? Trade, trade. Now keep in mind, we'd have to look and see if the prices came down to these areas, but I'll bet there were trades in these little flat areas. We'll find out in a few minutes. All right. But we are definitely looking for shorts, right? So when I say wait for the trade to come to you, what I'm talking about is waiting for the trade to actually do a thrust and a retrace. Now this is actually a thrust and a retrace as we speak right now. But let's look at the actual chart. Wait for the trade to come to you. Now, you notice you missed a really good mid-band trade. Okay, everybody sees that, I'm sure, right? You can clearly see that you missed a good mid-band trade. Okay, now does everybody see, even, Charles's webinar, for instance, this is one of those boxes right here. Okay, if you were to see this happening in real time, candle up, candle down, box it in, you're in the trade, stops here, you got a nice trade. Everybody sees that, right? Just the way he taught. Okay. And when you're stair stepping, these mid-band trades are really, really good. Look at the difference over here, though, when it's choppy. Could you imagine, boxing in? Let's say you boxed in here and you got something. You boxed in here and you got, maybe a quick short or something. Who knows? But this is just garbage. But look at that phantom trade, right? That's a decent trade. That's a decent trade here over on this side, and when you've got a red background and everything. But you didn't know you were choppy until, if you draw your lines on your charts, you can pretty much see that you had resistance up here and support down here, even if you looked at the chart at the previous evening and noticed that it pretty much just stayed in that range. Okay. But now we're not the type of traders that don't get some of these decent trades. Is that a good trade at line 2? Yes. Could you get 10 ticks? Yes. 2 contracts, $200. A predictor trade, $200. A predictor trade, more than $200. Predictor trade, that one would have been iffy, although it did come within a tick. You might have taken it. There's another $10, 10 ticks. Okay, now it turns red like this. Phantom trade might have worked, might not have. Okay, still have a rose-colored mid-band. You could easily box this in up in here, right? And you got you a nice little short. So there's still trading in here. Okay, but what I'm going to talk about a little bit more today is looking for some of those trades like even Charles was teaching on the Thursday night webinar. Watch for these trades like this. These can be excellent trades. You don't want to go with no bias if you are for sure in a situation where you're heading down. Okay, you can clearly see you broke support. So would you actually have done this where you would have said, okay, I'll go either direction, and what if it just bipped you in just barely? Let's see, what about which one to the left, Mindy? On which one? What time was it? No bias, yellow bars. You're talking about, we're at 424. Let's see here. 424. Well, this was actually a phantom. See, the mid-band is red and then rose-colored. So this is a phantom up here. Down lower right here. Yeah, that's absolutely a mid-band trade. Yeah. Now, when Charles was teaching on Thursday, you were basically, if you were taking this trade here, you would have probably drawn a trend line. He didn't teach this trade in that webinar last night. Okay. He didn't teach this trade. But this is a good trade on phantoms. What he taught was this right here, mid-band trade. And that is a good mid-band trade, by the way. Okay. Now, keep in mind that it was no longer choppy because it was taking out the lows. Okay. It was choppy when it was in this stuff right in through here because you can clearly see that they hadn't taken out any lows or anything. This was your low here. They finally took it out. They gave you a red background, gave you a beautiful trade there. Now, if you would have been up at 4 o'clock in the morning, would you have taken this trade short? Well, let's diagnose it and see. You had a high over here, kind of stair-stepping down. It took out this high, but it never took this one out. That's a lower high than your previous one over here to the left. Would you have taken this trade with phantom? I probably wouldn't have done it with a trend line like this. I would have done a trend line. When I saw it bip down through it, I usually like to box it. So I would have probably done something like that and boxed it where it actually had to break the box. Because you got to be careful just getting wicked into a trade. Because could this have actually started changing directions? Yes, it could have, because it was getting a green background and everything. Okay, so let's go forward and let's see if we can all identify where the next trade setup is. You want to? See if we can do that? All right, let's diagnose our charts. I'm going to draw some lines first. Let's see. It's been there, right? It's been there. Let's draw another line. It has not been there. See that swing to the left? Has not been there. Okay. And let's look to the left again. That's about the same area. So I would be looking for a trade since it's already been here. Okay. It's already been in this area. We could look for a mid-band trade, right? But let's do it, more conservative and actually box it in. What do you think? You want to try that? See if it works? All right, let's turn this on, and we'll actually use Object Trader even. Let's go with Object Trader. Replay mode. Maximum number of contracts of 4, that's fine. All right. Okay, no way to draw a trend line yet, right? Because what do we got to get before we get a trend line? Well, we got to get, yeah, there we go. You're starting to get it. See it? Thrust, retrace. Let's see if we get a little trend line. We'll draw it. It may roll over there. That's fine if it does. I'm not going to take it. Not just yet anyway. Because I got my lines drawn, I expect it to go and check them. It hadn't checked them. Okay, I'll draw a trend line like right through here just for the fun of it. And we're going to see if we can get us a trade. This is pretty much where I expect the trade to go. Right in this area here. And I would also take it if it goes in this area right in through here. If we get a box. Let's see if we get a box. Now, by the way, this morning, I was lazy. I slept in till, I think it was about 6:50. You know, for some reason, I was just tired this morning. I did not get up and trade right off the bat. But I did get some of that monster move to the upside. I missed the whole, you know, if I remember right, it actually pretty much went down, you know, before I got up. Let's see, OBT. You didn't turn anything on. I'm not yet. Raymond, I'm just watching this to see if I can get, you know, a thrust retrace. I need an ABC. We haven't gotten it yet. Okay, I'm going to reposition my trend line. I need an ABC. See, even this side did, you know, pretty much see ABC and then rolled. This didn't do an ABC yet. It just went A. See, because there's no pullback at all. See how this did a little lightning? Like that? This one hadn't done it. It just did a thrust, pullback. There's no lightning on this side. See if we can get something. Yeah, we could turn this on, absolutely. Let's do it with touch plus 2. That's fine. We'll do a couple of contracts if it breaks it. And I don't usually like to get wicked into them, so I usually pull them aside I usually get in the habit of pulling them aside about 1/4 of an inch. And the reason for that is just so you don't get wicked into a trade, but still keeps the same angle. Don't want to leave traces behind on the internet. No, I don't, but go away. All right, let's see. Here we go. We're starting to get up into our box, right? See if we get us a trade. That's an ABC, by the way. See it? ABC. But it didn't close above it, so it's not really, in my opinion, an ABC just yet. There it is. It closed above it. All right, so we're looking for a trade up in here, right? Now we're going to go ahead and tighten that because, see, it's getting a tighter than that. See if we can get us a little trade. Mid-band? What do you think? Is that a mid-band box, anybody? Well, if you drew this box right now, you'd basically have to draw it like this. I'll show you. Let me take this off for a second. You'd have to draw it like this. And see where that swing is right there? That's pretty much where you'd have to have the bottom of the thing if it closed below it. Okay? But if it continues heading up to my line, I'm going to move my box. Okay? And by the way, you can also use this little tool right here too. You know, see where power meter is green right now? They're going to crash through that trend line? We'll find out. Now, is this a rollover trade as of yet, anybody? See, to me, it's not, because it's not taking out lightning. It's still in a stair-stepping direction to the upside. See your low, your high, your higher low, your higher high. This would be the least I would get into this trade would be if it broke below this. And I usually, just so I don't get wicked into a trade, I'll usually drag my box a little bit because I don't want it if they just wick that box. There are too many times. See how they do that? They wicked it. You'll see that time and time again. See this wick here? That wick there? They tried to wick people into it. Now, if somebody was using Chart Trader instead of Object Trader, they would have probably gotten wicked into that trade. Okay, but we're looking for a break of support. Let's see. So you're waiting for lightning on this one, but how come 2-tick boxes sometimes? Well, it's 3-tick. Not what I'm talking about, Mindy. This is still a 2-tick box. See it? It's still a 2-tick box. All right. Now, if they do decide to come up into this area right here where I said that I want it, see that predictor? I'll turn on this one if it gets up to this area that I've already drawn on my chart. See where I've drawn on my chart? Waiting for the trade to come to me. Okay, let's see if we get it. Now I've got the region turned on, not the trend line. Yeah, what I'm going to show you today, Mindy, too, is a little bit more of a conservative way to do this. Because if you look at this side of this chart, look at this. Let me draw it. Does that look like a downtrend yet on this side of the chart? See, it's not. So you want to be careful just getting wicked into a trade that immediately goes against you because all they're trying to do is check support and resistance. So you have a high, a low, and a higher high. If you get another higher high, is this a trend change? No. You'd have to take this out here, come back and kiss it, head up. Okay? Looking to the left to trade the right. All right, now everybody see that you could probably put your box underneath here? Everybody see that? As soon as this closes, that's going to be a little lightning swing. So could you get ready to do that? Let's see. Wait for the bar to close. See, this webinar, I'm going to try to teach you as much as I can about waiting for the trade to come to you. Mark your charts up and everything and be ready to take the trade. Okay, what do you think? Could you actually, if you were doing this like right now, could you go ahead and get ready to take this? I don't like a wick above a swing. I don't trust them. They're not real. See how that swing right there? Even though it's a micro swing, they never closed above it. So this swing is not identified. This one is. Everybody sees that, right? Let me explain it further so everybody will see it, because this works. See how if you were to draw lightning 1, thrust, retrace, thrust, notice that went above that but never closed. That is not your identified swing. This is your identified swing. Now, I'm looking for a higher identified swing if it'll do it. Now, if this closes above, see how it closed above? Now this is an identified swing. Whoop, didn't want to move the top also. Let me see, where'd my line go? I want my line right. Where'd my line go? Oh, there it is, okay. Bear with me a second. Right there at predictor. Okay, so now I've got a trade setting up if it takes out the bottom of this box, and that's an identified swing. You can wait till it closes, absolutely. Just do close instead. Okay? Is it going to close there? We're going to find out. Now, if they do that and go with that bar close, I usually bring that box down a little bit lower because I don't want to get wicked into it. Let's see if we get a trade or not. Nope. So now I'm going to put my box underneath there, just a little bit lower. See, because they tried to wick people in. I'm looking at lightning on the right, but I'm also looking to the left. Everybody see that? Okay, let's see if we can speed this thing up. Slow in the morning. That's 10 times speed. Surely we'll get a trade. Always look left to trade the right. If they haven't tested a swing, they're going to test a swing. See, they tested that one right there, obviously, with that candle and rolled over. When they do that, they usually will go higher on the next time around if they don't go ahead and go lower and roll over. Well, we've got it set both ways. Didn't close. Now I usually reposition my box like so. See that? That's your left-hand side right there. Now notice that could have gotten me in if I'd done like +1 tick or something like that. But looking to the left to trade the right, that's actually your swing right there, as of right now. See if we get us a trade. And we could reposition our trend line too, right? Something like that. Yeah, don't go just willy-nilly into trades. You got to look on the, look at your overall trend, look at your support and resistance areas, and also look at what lightning is doing at the time. That's pretty much identified now right there. I think I just missed that trade. I'm going to take one there. The reason I did that without getting there because I had it on close. I don't want it closed at the top. See how it just hit my predictor? I'm okay on that trade. If it breaks that trend line, I'm going to add one more. Or if it breaks that box, I can add one more. Yeah, just one more is fine. Everybody see how I diagnosed that chart in real time? Could we add one? Well, we'll see. If it touches +2, I will go ahead and add. See how it hit exactly where I wanted it? That was resistance. There we go. We just got 2. Okay. Now, what I normally do when I get into like this is I like to take some profit when they get down to a swing area. You usually want to fade it just a few ticks, just in case they don't come all the way down. And I would probably quickly bring my stop just right above that swing right there and put it on exit on close. Okay. That's how you wait for a trade to come to you. At least that's one. I'm going to show several. Okay. But anytime you get in a trade, let me tell you what you also want to do is you want to be ready to draw your trend lines and things like that, and to draw a trend line, you have to have a thrust and a retrace and then roll so you can draw the trend line, just like we did here. Okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. And I'm going to draw a trend line if we decide. Now what if you wanted more on this trade than what you're getting right now? You would have to wait for some kind of a retrace, right? Now I'm going to show you what waiting for the trade to come to you actually means, because it actually works quite well. Let's see if we can get one. I'm going to draw some lines on my chart in real time, and let's see if we can get it. There's a swing right there. They broke down below it. They haven't tested it yet. There's a swing right there that they haven't tested just yet, right? If they touch it, I'm going to just grab one with market order. If they don't touch it, I won't grab it. Now it looks like they're going to come right back here instead. See it? Right in there. Just grab myself one more. Why did I do that? Because they always do that. We're going to talk about this on Monday night too. Talk about kiss trades. That is a legitimate kiss trade when it comes back and kisses a swing like that. Okay. Does that mean it's going to continue coming down? No. But if it holds my swings, it will. See how it's holding the swings? I could take these all the way out of the way and just bring my stop down in this area right here. That's my resistance area right there. Now that's a tight stop, but with 2 contracts on oil, do you want it all the way at mid-band? Could you draw a trend line on this trade? Well, let's see if we get a little thrust and retrace. We've gotten a thrust, barely retrace. Let's see. Held resistance. I'd probably add one more there myself, but anyway, we won't. It's already hit it. Always look to the left to trade the right. There's another area of support right there. You could easily take one more contract off if you wanted to. or you could ride this trade all the way down, however far it decides to go. Everybody see that? Now, let's see if we can figure out, look at that thing drop. I was mad at myself this morning for not getting up because I'm usually up at this time right in through this area right here. And I would have definitely seen that trade because I just did it for y'all. I would have even seen it here when I drew under my trend line. I would have grabbed it there even at 6:04. And I'm usually up about that time. Now, does anybody see why you would want to not just keep dropping your target, drop your stop? Okay? Now, does anybody see a trend line on this chart? Let's draw one and see if we all see it. I see one right through there. See how that hugged those tops right there? And if it does another one, you could draw another trend line. This would be a little tighter than I normally like to go, but whoop, let's not move our stop, just move our trend line. Get out of the way, stop. I'll move that stop in just a second. You could even use your trend line as an out on this also, okay? When you can get 2 points, push it aside a little bit, right? Could you actually ride this trade until it just decided to take out that trend line by turning on wedge with a long above, say 2 ticks? Could you do that? And I usually, like I say, I like to put mine a little bit to the side just so they don't get wicked out. You could use, absolutely, you could use line 2 also. Now keep in mind that trend lines a lot of times will get wicked out. Okay, now this one probably won't. See the larger one right there? If you want that one instead, all you'd have to do is just delete this one, and that would become your new trend line right there. Now usually what I do, even in a case like this, is I follow it back like secondary swing or even primary, which is right across there. Everybody see that? And by the way, that turned out to be an awesome trade for anybody that was up. Like I said, I didn't get up this morning. I actually got the next trade. And matter of fact, I even called it in the room on a good long trade because what happened with oil? It actually just tanked until it couldn't tank anymore. Curious, why wasn't long and short enabled, Lewis, on which one now? You mean when we took this trade a little while ago? Because we were looking for shorts. Remember? Let's go back on this and look at the other chart just real quick. Okay? Now, if this would have decided to go long instead of short, what would it have actually done? Let's go ahead and do that first. That's our little lightning 2. Okay, remember I said looking to the left to trade the right. This is all in hindsight right now, but it wasn't at the time, right? So here's your swing. You do not want taken out. If they were going to go up, they would simply do this. They would break above this line. Let's go ahead and change that color. And I even said that, remember? And then they would have pulled back something like this, right? Now, I thought I memorized that. I guess I didn't. Let me memorize it. All right. And let's memorize the width of it too. All right. That would have happened if they were going to go up. You got to look at this lightning 3. Okay. Don't just fall for just barely getting in a trade just because it boxed in around midband. Look at what your overall trend is. Okay. And yes, I would have taken this long if it would have broken above 66 and I could have boxed it. And I would have probably taken the thrust up to here and then waited for the pullback to get in again. But see, it didn't do that. It just barely kissed it. See there, 66, 65 to 67. That's only a wick. But then look at the monster trade. Look at that trade. Where would your stop be right now? Anybody? Or even here, if you were a little bit more conservative, maybe. If you were more conservative, you could put it on the secondary swing. Everybody see that? Now, we don't know yet if they've gone down more than this. Let's see if we can draw lightning 1. Yeah, lightning 1 already took you out. See there? Now, is that a cool way to trade or what? Let's go look at the chart now. What's happening right now as we speak? Now, this is that area where you got to think about boxing in, okay? You got to think about whether you want to take a long at midband like this right here, or if you want to wait and see if you get a retracement like into Phantom. It's kind of one of those deals where you just got to make up your mind, because it broke my trend line. Could I actually box this and see if I could get a trade? Well, if I went against the trend, I would probably turn this on, touch plus like 2, and go for 10 ticks only. If it broke that box, and I'd probably even go touch plus 1, because if I wanted to get this trade, if it broke, I would not let it go back against me. Everybody see that and why? Because if you want to take trades against the trend, you literally want them not to go against you. You know, for instance, if that pops out of that box, I don't want it coming back in the box. Let's see if we can get 10 tick. I have no idea. I was still not up at that time. Now, could we go ahead and go short? Well, yeah, but it broke my trend line. So I'm going to see if I can get 10 ticks. Maybe I can get up to right in through here. Look to the left. There we go. We got it. I'd put my stop very, very tight, like even inside the box. I'm not willing to risk very much on that trade at all. Exit on close. And there I just got a trade, didn't I? Yep. It looks like it's going to hit it. Whoop. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe. Come on. Yep. It's going to get it. You can see it's getting higher lows and higher highs. Okay. Everybody see that? Now, I think Charles next week is going to teach on trend changes. Now, if you didn't get this box right here, like we teach at the open, now, if you would have done this box with short only, you would have never gotten a trade, right? Because obviously you would have made your box here instead. See your 2 candles right there? You would have had to have a rollover and at least take that out to head down. But if you did it no biased, you would have gotten a long. And that happens a lot when they do a huge move down like this, and you can get, you'd be surprised how often that actually works. Okay, what about if this decides to break a trend line to the downside? Could I short it? Let's try 10 ticks again just for the fun of it. Wedge, that's below, so it'll be that one. We'll do touch plus 1. See if we can get 10 ticks. It may just go to the moon. We'll find out. Got it. I'd put my stop nice and tight on that little puppy like that. And if it gets taken out, it gets taken out. See, I've got a 0-sum trade on that quickly because I'm actually, there we go, got it. All right. Now, let me ask a quick question. I was short, but could you have boxed the midband like Charles taught last night in the webinar? And how many times do they come down to that area right there and give you a great trade? Anybody? But if you miss it, what do? You got to wait for the trade to come to you. Okay? So let's see if we can get a trade to come to us. We're going to draw on our chart and see. And I'm almost positive I took this trade this morning because I was getting up right about that time, and my computer's super fast. So let's draw some lines on the chart. Change it to a navy of some kind. There we go. All right, so I'm going to draw on top of here. It can't come any lower than this. See, it's already checked that. It's already checked it. So if it's going to break down, it's going to break 71. Everybody sees that, right? Thrust, retrace, thrust. That would be lightning breaking to head down. What if it hits right here, though, and heads up? Because remember, when they thrust, they'll usually pull back. Look to the left to trade the right. I even see a little swing right there. So that's kind of a sweet spot right in this area right here for a trade. Anybody see that? Because if you can start seeing this in real time, believe me, you're going to be able to make some decent money trading because, you know, just watch and see if they don't do exactly what you draw on your charts, because they usually do. All right. We're not thrust traders, though. We've already missed the trade. We got a nice short 10 ticks with one contract, and we're going to see if we can get a long trade. Let me see if I missed any questions. Okay, so there was no way it could have turned with this example right. Well, keep in mind, Lewis, that what you want to do, okay, if you break a trend line, to give an example, there's a lot of times where you can actually box and go long, even against trends. Just be careful with them, okay? But you'll notice that when trend lines are broken, that's usually when trends change. Now, if it doesn't change, if it holds like phantom and starts heading back down, you know, you could actually be looking for a short, but I don't think I'd be looking for a short until it took at least that out right there. See, because that's pretty much your trend line right there. Okay. So let's see if we can get a trade. I'm gonna look and see if it'll come right down to my trend line, or a little lower than my trend line, like right through here to this swing or this swing. Looking to the left to trade the right. We'll go ahead and do two. I don't like one simply because if you do one, you got to hold it for the whole trade. And do you know if you're going to get a scalp or are you going to get a run? Well, if you get a scalp only, and if you miss a 100-tick run, you're going to be unhappy with yourself because you didn't follow lightning. But then again, sometimes if you take one and it goes up 10 ticks and comes down 12, you'll get out and then you'll miss the run anyway. So, you know, that's why I like two contracts usually. You like to get a little bit of coin. Let's see if this thing's going to do anything. I'll speed it up just a little bit. Are you going to come down and kiss my line? Close, but no cigar yet. Not going to take that trade unless it busts and pulls back again. You know, we're going to do it the same way as we're doing right now. We're going to look for a thrust and a pullback. Not going to do it. I just missed a good trade. I'm going to buy it anyway. See it? Hit my line exactly. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to add one if we get any kind of a little pullback. See how it came perfectly? I mean, if you draw on your charts, you're going to be amazed at how well you'll be able to draw on your charts and see where they come back to. Okay? Now, by that same analogy that I taught just right then, let's see if everybody else in here can pick out a trade. Next trade on the chart, what do you think? All right, I'm going to draw lines on the chart. It's already come down here, so it checked this and this. So where's it going to check next? Well, it looks to me like there's nothing on this side over here, so I'm going to probably say it's going to check here. Or let's turn that sniper off. It's going to check here, or it's going to check here. And let's see if it actually does. And it may even be higher because this could thrust up and then come back here again. We'll find out. Let's see if you can nail the next trade. Okay. You just had a thrust up. You're getting a retrace right now. What says the team? Anybody? What do you think? Where should it bounce? Right off that bottom line, don't you think? What do you think? You want to try it? Well, we've already got two in, but let's just pretend you weren't in anything. Let's see if we can get the trade. We drew on our charts, and we're going to see if we can get that trade. And hopefully I don't go too fast that we don't get it. Bounced right off my line. See there? Bounced right off my line. Didn't go down to the second one. All right, where's it going to come to now? Kiss trade, kiss trade, kiss trade. Perfect. See it? Perfect. Perfect, perfect. See how you can do that? Drawing your charts. Now notice that we didn't take a trade because we're already flat. But does everybody see how you can see those trades in real time? Because they will set up on your charts continually like that. Okay? What if you missed that one entirely? Anybody? Let's see if we can get another one. Okay, we're going to draw at like, what would that be? 32? What do you think? Let's see, 32. If we come up, that is. Break above. Let's see, we got a swing. Haven't tested that one just yet. But they've got another swing right here. Still here now. See it? Got to look to the left to trade the right. This is where I would be looking for a little sweet spot that, you know, when they thrust up like that, you got to check like the previous one to the left, and you got another one right down here just in case they break mid-band. Like so. Predictor's saying right here. What do you think? You want to try it for 10 ticks? If it comes down to my swing or that predictor. Predictor's right here. Like so. Predictor's here now. Just hit my support level. And just got 10 ticks. That's how it's done. You just got to look to the left to trade the right. Now, does anybody see a trend line that if you were still in some trades, we're flat, but can you see a trend line? Draw your trend line. And that is your trend line right there. And you've got another one right here. Let's get rid of all of them just for now. We'll get rid of horizontal lines, but not the rays. All right, let's see. You got another trend line here. Okay, so if you were in a monster trade still riding up right now, where could you get out of this trade? When it broke the trend line, maybe? Is it going to keep going up? Let's pretend we got two contracts on here. You're out. See that, everyone? Now what's it doing? Anybody? You just got a phantom trade. We just missed it. Okay, let's wait for the next trade to come to us, and let's see if we can get something. Okay, we didn't get our phantom trade, so we missed that trade. That's a high, a low, a lower high. Not a lower low yet. We missed our phantom, so we're not going to chase trades. We got to get a trade set up. Could you box that? Absolutely. Yeah, I don't normally like to box against green, though, truthfully. Because to me, when you box green, you really want to be looking for longs, not shorts. But if you would have boxed it there, yeah, you could have made some coin on it. I didn't personally like it because if you got in here, you only had to here to go. That was only like 8 ticks. Okay, let's look. Whoa, let's look at our chart real quick on our little black one. What is it doing? We have a high, we have a low, we have a lower high. We're not taking out the low just yet. Let's see if it does. Took it out. What are you looking for now, anybody? By just looking at this chart, I can tell you that more than likely you've got a red background and you're looking for shorts. Yep, how about that? So what do you think? Does anybody see a trade here? Well, let's see if we can get one then. Okay, we got a candle up, a candle down. So could we box that? Yes. Maybe too late. We're already too late. We'll just let it touch that thing. There we go. We're in. See if we get something out of that trade. Notice that I'm just going for a scalp right now because I didn't have my other targets on, but that's okay with me. 3 contracts at 10 ticks is $300 if I can get it. Put your stop just above mid-band. That way you're not risking but 240 to make 300. There's your swing now. Should hold on exit on close. We need a lower high. Ooh, that was close. See that? Exit on close kept us in. I'd probably move that just right up above that mid-band right now, simply because it wicked it. It didn't take me out, and I like to give it a chance. And now I'd probably move it here again. See why I did that, everyone? It wicked, and then it popped right back up. So when it wicked and didn't take me out, and you know, sometimes it will take you out though. If that would have closed above that, we would have been taken out. And we just got another trade. Okay? Now, let me ask another quick question. It's 8:30 in the morning. CL isn't as important on 8:30 in the morning as your equities are. Okay? So if we don't take out that low, okay, now you notice we already got a trade, so what are we doing now? We're waiting on a thrust and a retrace, right? You got to. Either that or a deeper retrace, one or the other. Because we're already in a trade, so we already got out of our trade, so we can't get in another one this quick, right? We got to wait. Okay, now that did kiss resistance right at the bottom of my box. You could take that. It's a little risky though, so be careful with it because we already got a trade. I'm going to fast forward this and see if everybody can pick out a trade. Let's just watch it. All right, let's draw on our chart. We've got support right here. We got another support area right here. All right, we got resistance right up here that is not identified. This one is. This one is here on the Lightning 2. So this is what I consider to be my resistance right here. So to head up, they would have to take this out at least right here. Pop up, pull back, and kiss to go. Or they would have to kiss this area right here like Phantom and roll over. Okay, so let's see if we can get something. And we got to wait for either a thrust. There's a double bottom. Maybe it's a double bottom. It won't be if it takes it out. Definitely a double bottom. Are we looking at longs yet, anybody? No. Because if you look at this chart, let me slow this down for just a second. You can clearly see that you have a thrust, retrace, thrust. Okay, I'll draw that. Thrust, retrace, thrust on the left side of the chart. All right, so on the left side of the chart, that's resistance, right? If we get a lower high of any kind, we could still head down, wouldn't you think? So let's see if we get anything higher than this. We'll look for longs only if it comes back and kisses. Other than that, we're looking for mid-band kisses. We just missed one, so that's not a trade for us, unfortunately. See if we can get something. Ooh, look at there. Anybody see a trade setting up there? I like that particular trade there if it touches line 6. Anywhere in between these, touch line 6 or up above it, I will short a phantom as long as it doesn't take this out. I'm probably going to dip the toe though. Now, to be safe on this trade, how would you do it? Well, how about a trend line? Draw a wedge. Short, touch +2. Go ahead and go with our profit targets. Now, if it touches that line 6, I'm going to fire 1 anyway. If it closes above it, see if we get it. Draw your lines on your charts. Like I say, are we looking for longs yet? Not if you look to the left to trade the right, we're not. I'll go ahead and take 1. All right. Now, with a phantom type trade, they're liable to wick this right here. All right. So I would probably, in this case, put my stop just inside, just above here, just a little bit, just in case they decide to change this trend at all. Okay. Now, that's a gutsy trade right there, but that is a phantom trade. See how it's trying to close below 6? What if it goes all the way up to, well, you could put it at line 8. Yeah, somebody just said, could you put it at line 8? Yeah. Yeah, but keep in mind, if you put it at line 8 and you short line 6, you got a 12-tick stop. Okay? Now, what if you used a trend line instead? Well, you could already be in a trade, or what if you used a box? Well, you could use a box. Let's just add one if it takes out a box. We'll go with right across there. Okay, so we're going to go one more phantom just right up here. And I will see if I get either one of those trades. High or low. Not taking out the lows. Still not taking out the lows. There's one more. Now, usually in a case like this, this looks like this is going to, I would probably close that if it takes out that swing right there. Okay, now I'm going to reposition my box, and I'm going to go one more time if it does phantom, right up here at resistance. But I'm not stupid, though. I'm not going to let them, get in here, for instance, and then get taken out way up here, unless you want to just use line 8, okay? If you want to use line 8, then you're going to have to be willing with like 2 contracts for a 12-tick pullback. Okay, there's resistance. Yeah, I'd put my stop, absolutely. Something like that. Whoa, that was close. And then I'd reposition this and go one more time. If it takes out the low. Is it taking out a trend line? Add one more. See how it took out my trend line? And then I'd probably put my stop just above, like even that little micro right there, just inside that box. Okay, everybody see how you can trade this? Always look to the left to trade the right. The trade will come to you, believe me. You have to trust the scripts. Okay, now if you want a gusto type trade, you want to pull a target out of the way, pull another one out of the way, and whoop, already got that one. I was going to move it down to here. All right. Now, where would you put your stop right now, everyone? Lightning. Now we're above, at least a little above break even in case they snag us out. Lightning swing. Bring it down. Lightning swing. Not yet. Yep, lightning swing. Bring it down. Just kissed my lightning swing. See how lightning swings hold? Now, usually when it does that, I do this. I move my stop right there where the wick is. If it gets you, it gets you. You have to get back in if it does. Okay? So what does everybody think about trading this particular way next week? And draw your trend lines on your charts. I can clearly see a trend line along in here. So let's get rid of all the lines. And let's draw a trend line as a stop instead, if I can do it quick enough. I'll draw a trend line. Move it back just a little bit. And that's my top button, so I'll take it out. If it touches that +2, I got 2 left, so I need to take 2 out. And then I put it on wedge instead of region, obviously. There you go. And then you can move your target out of the way. We don't know how low it's going to go, right? But now we've got a trend line protecting our trade. We've got a target that we can move way out of the way if we want to. Just let it run. Okay? And then let's see what actually happened with the trade. Remember that trade I called in the room this morning up in, there we go, we just got taken out. Now, is there another trade setting up on this chart, anybody? Absolutely there is. Now, usually when it's sideways like this, I'll usually go for either 10 or even like 15 on a second one. Or if I go like 3, I'll usually go 10, 15, and then a runner. Something like that. And that's if I go 3. Let's see if it does anything. That is a box in trade, right, everyone? Trend line, is it going to get it? That might not have gone 2 yet, but I saw it break the trend line, so I just hit the market order. And bazingo, we got another trade, right, everyone? So if we all get in the habit of watching for mid-band trades when it's stair-stepping, right? Mid-band trades when it's stair-stepping, draw trend lines. Could a person be nicely green on an average day? And the answer is absolutely yes, right? Let me show you something just real quick. Just to show you that it can be done. So that you know this isn't bunk and, you know, I was starting to say BS, but I didn't. Anyway, I did. All right. Look at this right here. All right. Congratulations. You have passed step 2 and earned your funded account. By the way, this is a $150,000 account. Okay. Average winning day, $1,519.77. Best day, $3,036.90. My worst day was $48.70, but guess what? That wasn't my worst day because I was already at $159,000 within my first 5 days of that last part of my funded deal. And so what I did is I simply just went in, went out, went in, went out 5 days in a row and earned my funded account. Okay? So just to let everybody know, just in case somebody's in here that's not a Viper trader, you know, and so that some of the naysayers out there will shut the heck up, you can clearly see that that is the way we teach to trade. If that's not enough, there's another one right here. One Up Trader, 15 target days, 15 days traded, $8,240 achieved, $3,000 profit target. Daily gain was 549.33, average winning trade 408, average losing trade 163. Funded. Okay, so basically what it boils down to, with the way we teach and everything, you can not only learn to do this in real time, but you can get, if you want to, that is. Now, granted, if you think about trading somebody else's money, one thing you got to think about, though, is that if you're trading somebody else's money, you're paying full income tax on your money. Okay, I do them simply because that way my kids can have one. Okay, each now, because I went ahead and funded another one, and they can have an account so that, you know, it's like a retirement account for them, which is doing a lot better than the stock market is right now, by the way. Okay, so you can definitely do that. And by the way, I even start like LLCs so that they're responsible for their own stuff. They basically, you know, I'm not going to pay their taxes for them too, in other words. Okay, but just to show you that this is real type stuff that a person can do. And you know, could a person see how that's barely taking that out right now and it's stalling? You know, if I was thinking, wow, this might not head down anymore, well, I could always just do this, or I could do this. And if it takes it out, I'll just get out of my short, right? If it takes out that trend line. Okay, and that's how you can use Object Trader to really do a very, very good job. You see, it looks like it's going to take it. There, it did, flat. Okay, and again, that's the way you do in your trading. You always got to draw on your charts, always know where the trade's going, and draw your trend lines and things like that. And you can get in other trades. You want to try one more, and we'll wrap? Let's see if we can get one more. Okay, there's your thrust, your retrace. Let's draw a trend line. So far it's like that, but I don't like it just yet. It's got to take out that swing, or I'm not going to draw it yet. Take it out with a close. Nope, not yet. See, I'm not using the trend line yet. Because why? Because it thrust up, pulled back, but it didn't take out the swing. Now you probably draw it like that instead. And if it'll pop up, this will be my new swing area that I can draw my trend line. Not yet. Not yet, still not. Still not where I would take that trade. All right, draw it again. This is if it's going to go short, by the way. This may, now what would it take, anybody that's with us, if this was to go long, I would expect it to take this out right here, come back and kiss, and take off again. If it doesn't do that, I'm not going to chase the trade. All right? Because if I was to box this right here, does anybody see where resistance is on this chart? It's right there. So if I box this, like so, with the close of a bar, if I was going to try to take a long, that gives me nothing in the trade. See, I'd just now be in. And I always look to the left to see where my resistance is. Now, if this blows up, hey, I'll wait for it to pull back and kiss. But where you're going to get torn up is if you don't look to the left to see where they're going. And now we could draw our trend line. See it right there? Let's do touch plus 1, and we'll do 2. We might be able to tighten it. Didn't quite close above that, though. It looks like it wants to, though. There it did. So that's a swing right there. Okay, we're in the trade, right? Now, is this trade going to work out? We'll find out. Let's just see if it takes our stop at all. I'm going to leave it right where it's at. There you go. You just got a profit target. Okay. Now I turned that up to like 500, so it really moved quick then. Oh, that was even, no, that wasn't old inventory, was it? Okay. Everybody see that? So let's see. So there's no way, let's see. Curious why was it? Minimum criteria works really good on stair stepping and after ABCs, right? Because what you want to do is, first off, you want to see, is the trend really changing? Is it going up? Well, that was a phantom trade. That was a good 10 tick trade. What would it take for this trade to go up? It looks to me like it's changing trends, actually. See the low, high, higher low, higher high? Could this actually start heading up? Anybody? What says the team? You want to try a quick trade? We're only a few minutes after. Let's just see if we can. I won't even take it. I'll just see if I can nail where it's at. Not changing trends yet, is it? There it changed trends. What do you think? Pullback? Well, unfortunately, I'd already got it right there at that predictor. I'd probably take that for 10. A little late now, unfortunately. That may not get 10. We'll see. We'll see. I tried to get it with that bar close. I'd protect that trade right there, just in case. And right there we go. We got it. Got 10 ticks. Okay. So does everybody think this probably more than likely works? Now draw on your charts and let's look at this over here. Let's get rid of lightning. Lightning 1, lightning 2, and lightning 3. All right, let's draw on our charts and let's see where this thing is. All right, so you have a low, high, higher, low. Let's see if we got a higher high. Yep. Okay, so let's draw on our chart. Bingo. See it? Now, I've got this running 500 times, so we couldn't possibly take the trade. But see that? I drew that line ahead of time, drew it right where support was, and bazonga, off the trade goes. That's how you draw on your charts. Okay? So I think that's probably enough right now. Now look at the actual chart, and you'll see it too. Where was that at where I drew that? It was right there. Where did it come to and kiss? Boom. Would we have called that trade in real time? Well, our room was closed, but would I have called that trade in real time? You better bet you I would have. Okay? So, everybody got a monster trade set up? What's the direction now? Anybody? How about a mid-band? Boom, there you're in. See that? Where's your next trade? Probably a phantom. Let's see if we can get a phantom. See there? Phantom. Phantom. They're just all over the place, aren't they, everyone? You just got to learn to see it on your charts because it really does work. Okay? All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I ran it about 10 minutes over. Have a very happy New Year, although we're going to see you on Monday, so we'll all see each other then anyway. But still have a happy New Year. All right. I'll have this up on the website in the next little bit. And thanks, everyone, for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. And by the way, I didn't show that other stuff to brag in any way, shape, or form. There's just a lot of naysayers out there in the world, that go, well, you don't show your dome. Well, I'm not going to show my dome. I'm going to teach people how to see these trades in real time. And so does Charles. Okay? Because we want everybody to be able to see the trades in real time so that they can take them. And if you were looking at this chart right now, what would you think? It's past time and everything, but could you see that you got support here? You got resistance here. That's in a range, right? So what are you looking for? Well, this is the trades I'd be looking for. Thrust above, pull back, kiss and take off. Buy support bounces. Yeah, you could do that inside it. Or a break below and a pullback, probably in the mid band, and a presumption of selling. Okay? And, you know, somebody says, well, yeah, it's got to go one way or the other. No, it doesn't. It can go sideways too. Okay? Anybody have any final questions before we wrap? When we have a magenta or red midband, we only look for short trades. Is that right? Well, Donald, on your question, yes, but keep in mind that if, you know, for instance, like this right here, let's see. Yeah, this right here. See where this trend line was right here? Now, if you're gutsy enough to take that trade by drawing that trend line, and you were short, and then they take you out, could you actually take that trade to the long side? Yes. But the best way to take it is after a thrust and a pullback. When the indicator that makes the background change. What's the indicator that makes the background change, Ed? That's the Object Trader background MTF. All right. Now, when you're sideways like this and you've got a magenta midband, you're only looking for these, not midband, right? Because if you're sideways trading at the time, you want to basically look for these deeper retracements. These midbands will kill you in those areas right like that. Okay. Now, when you're stair stepping, you're looking for that trade. You're looking for that trade. You're looking for that trade. Now you were looking for what? This trade here, where I drew it on the chart. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think that should do it. Thanks everybody for coming, and have a great weekend too. Okay. All right. Bye everyone. Thanks. Oh, one thing before I go though. Linda said there's still some people that have not put on the new scripts. You have exactly 2 days to do so. Don't let your charts get all messed up with expired file, because it will do that. Okay. When this calendar changes to 12/30/2018, those scripts go bye-bye. But we've got the brand new ones and they're on the website. How do you do that, Donald? Let me show you real quick. Bear with me a second. Just go to your member login. All right. And I'm going to go to my member login right here. All right. And then I go to members area. And that's my members login in my members area. Scroll down here to templates, Viper workspaces, and scripts. Open that. And this is what's in it. Now, what you want to do is you don't want to try to import this entire file. You want to drag this out of the file, like onto your desktop or into a download folder. Simply go into your NinjaTrader 7 and remove Object Trader 04/2018, and then you'll install this one. Okay. Now, if anybody's here on trial, if you just started it, I hate to tell you this, but your scripts are also going bad. But as a courtesy from Viper, we'll get the new scripts out, and you'll be more than welcome to have another week. Okay. All right. So if anybody needs any help with that, just simply go to contact, call me, download our TeamViewer, and give me your machine ID and password, and I'll have the scripts on for you in 5 minutes. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great one. 2018 is almost over.